it's family time. You decide to watch a movie, right? Everyone's cozy, popcorn and drinks are ready. It's a perfect evening. But then a scene comes on. Now everyone hopes it will end quickly, but it keeps going and going and going, with the visuals and worse, a sound that is difficult to escape. Now, I'm of course talking about the sex scenes in movies. Have you ever thought about how they do it in the movies? Now, I meant how they use sound to create intimacy, because it can't be exaggerated. We are not making adult OF content. To sell us on the story and the scene, it has to be cinematic, romantic, sexy, and somewhat realistic. Well, there are a few techniques we can use behind the screen.
I spend most of my time on the kissing scenes. It's hard to get that intimacy and that physicality on location. And that's where I come in.
As the Vulture article correctly says, it's mostly the job of Foley artists, who specialize in reproducing everyday sounds to enhance the realism of film and TV. Yes, most, if not all, sounds you hear on the screen are added later in post-production.
Foley is the art of sound. It's creating sounds in sync with what's happening on screen.
And then quite a lot of dialogue too. So for intimate scenes, the basics stay the same. Do you want to practice kissing? Well, you can do it on your own. But there is more to it than simulating teenage romance. Joanna Fang, a Foley artist, says it's all about the emotion and message a particular scene conveys. In The Light Between Oceans, the characters have sex after a miscarriage. There is a vulnerability, guilt, and love. The job is to perform that with sound. Now Fang pointed a microphone at herself while rubbing her hands with a piece of fabric on her, recording both male and female perspectives. We can imagine the approach would be quite different. And then she added the sounds of the bed, recorded on her old couch with a textured sheet on top. Now kissing, right? Kissing is slightly different, because if you think about it, it doesn't generate much sound. It's the release of the kiss that does it, when the lips pull apart.
Stop.
So you want to focus on that.
No bite at all.
Now, if you want to create a more intense scene, Fang says she uses lip smacks, clicks, and generally sounds that we make when we eat. Like the saying goes, a way to a heart is through the stomach. And the way to my heart is when you hit that subscribe button. But when we move beyond the kissing into, let's say, the Peach scene from Call Me By Your Name, or American Pie,
What exactly does third base feel like?
You want to take this one?
Like warm apple pie.
you don't use the props on the screen because they don't sound as good. So the Foley artist speculated that instead of Peach, they probably used a microphone close to a cantaloupe, a melon,
Gory viscera sounds.
which would give a bigger, better sound than a small peach.
Your reaction when you read the script and saw the peach scene?
Well, yeah, I was like, this is what I've been waiting for, you know?
The same goes for movies like 50 Shades. No, they didn't use the actual toys, but according to the Foley team, they went to like a B&Q hardware store, got a bunch of chains and used them against furniture, skin and other materials to get the sound.
Oh my God.
For the 50 Shades Darker scene with metal balls, she used a car washing sheepskin cloth and a moist chamois leather to create sexy sounds.
Good.
The same is true for a hand job, so either a cloth again or a bit of lotion on a hand, rubbing on a forearm, so truly, truly romantic.
New pose.
In Gone Girl, Amy uses a bottle to simulate assault and fake evidence before the brutal murder. Now, the Foley artist layered different sounds of actual bottle handling with, again, a wet cloth they use for car cleaning.
Skin-to-skin contact in a sex scene, the Foley artist really just rubs or slaps their hands together. Creaking beds and sofas really help, so they always make those kind of noises.
Because the secret in movie sex is not to exaggerate, but also not to be too realistic. Even in very explicit scenes, like in a Blue is the Warmest Color, especially oral scenes, according to the Foley artist, it wouldn't sound sexy or tasteful on screen, and it would probably change the actual rating of the movie, as it would remind audiences of adult content too much, which of course goes completely in the exaggerated direction. So it's a balance, movies tell us a story, not the act. For that, there are other websites. When I worked at the movie studio, I loved visiting the Foley stage, seeing the various items used to reproduce sounds and learning how creative the job can be. So next time, when a steamy scene comes on, don't be embarrassed. It's all fake. It's probably a wet car cleaning cloth and a bit of melon. But when movies use hyperrealism, there is a risk that we believe it. And that something that you imagined as this romantic night of passion turns out to be a 30-second disappointment. Not that I know anything about that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.